My name is Mason Weisbrodt. I go to Batavia High School, class of 2022, currently uncommitted.
Mason Weisbrodt, welcome to What's in Your Bag.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Now I'm going to take you back. You remember when we first met?
Yep.
Where was it?
Freshman year, West Claremont Healthplex.
That's right.
Yep.
Your two brothers were in one of our basketball clinics,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the guys working for us, Ben Himmelgarn,
Yep.
he saw you shooting around
The other side, yeah.
on the other side of the court. And he said, hey, we need to check this kid out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were tall, could shoot a little bit, move, and we spoke with your father, and next thing you know, we meet, you join our AU program. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show was because from that time to right now, your senior year,
Mm-hmm.
your growth as a basketball player, Mason, to becoming one of the great players in our area right now has been fascinating to watch. And I think it's important for the young people out there to kind of learn more about your journey and how you go from where you were when I met you your freshman year to where you are today. So everyone that comes on the show, all right, has to bring in a bag,
Yep.
which when we get to this bag, it's something else.
It
And
is.
they have to bring in 3 items. One is a pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know I'm a sneaker guy.
I know you. Yeah.
And then 2 items that represent your journey in life and basketball. So I don't know any of the items you brought in.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes the conversation flow pretty easily, and
Yep.
I just enjoy it that way.
Absolutely.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's start with this bag. Now this may top every bag that's ever been brought in. So why don't you go ahead and
sure.
start with this?
All right, so the Mario book bag, I actually got this year, and I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, you know, how funny it'd be to pull up to schools with a Mario book bag and, you know, score average 30 points a game, and like teams will spend weeks like trying to find a practice plan to stop you, and you walk in with a Mario book bag. Like,
That you probably got out of the kids department.
I did actually
At
get out of the kids department.
Walmart?
Walmart for
At
sure.
Walmart,
Yeah.
yep. Figured.
Yeah.
Yep. How much was that bag, by the way?
Like $7
$7 in the kids section.
in the kids section. I grew up having like Nike Elite bags, but like the zippers would break. I play basketball so much, so I was like, might as well switch it up. Get a Mario book bag.
So you wear this to school, you wear it to games,
Yeah.
everywhere you go.
My basketball bag, yeah.
Do people say anything to you about your Mario bag?
Oh yeah, they'll ask why I have a Mario book bag, and I'll just,
They think it's one of your little brothers?
yeah, I'll be like, hey, looks cool, doesn't it? Like,
Now, this kind of ties into you, though, because, you know, you're into fashion.
absolutely.
And ever since I've known you, you've always been intrigued with fashion. So where does that come from?
I don't know, I was growing up kind of being like the role model to my brothers and everything, just growing up. I want them to, you know, show them as like themselves, kind of be their own person. Figured what more than a Mario book bag could represent that.
Yeah, that's inspiring, though.
It is, yeah.
And what's fascinating, too, I think, right now in 2021, and it's been trending this way, you see so much in basketball where there's blurred lines between basketball, music, pop culture, and fashion. For example, if we turn on a Lakers game, you might see courtside the Migos, and they're decked out in, you know, all kind of designer shoes and, you know, jewelry and all that stuff. And so you've got the Lakers playing, you've got musical artists sitting courtside, and then they've got all the fashion. So that's all blended together. And then you look at the tunnel, right, in the NBA. You see rookies like Jalen Green. We've got P.J. Tucker, Russell Westbrook. These guys are walking from their car to the locker room, and all cameras and you know, paparazzi are taking pictures, and they're wearing their best outfit.
Yep.
And, you know, fashion is just a big part of basketball, and
It is.
a big part of who you are.
Definitely.
And, you know, I see over there you have some earphones.
Yeah, I got the Beats with a couple bracelets on here. You know, kind of just add to the bag something else. Keep these on me for game days. Listen to music. Then the other side got from AAU tournament a Baller TV keychain with Finley. This is our freshman year. We went to team camp at Finley, so it's kind of like decorative stuff to add onto it.
Yeah, all part of your journey.
Absolutely.
Now, everyone that comes on the show, I do like to ask them as far as like music they listen to, pregame. In Rayvon Griffith listens to country.
Yeah.
We talked to Bowen Hardman. He listens to a little jazz. Pregame, what do you listen to?
Pregame, kind of on the way to like bus rides. I kind of just like shuffle all my songs on playlist, and all my songs. It's interesting, really.
Give me somebody.
There's not really like any particular person that like always comes on. It's kind of just all my songs I have added on my Apple Music kind of just shuffle. So it could be country to old rock to rap, like literally anything, like Christmas music. It's
a
bit of everything, yeah.
Christmas music gets you hyped up?
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, if that's what does it for you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what does it for you.
And then before the games, I usually bring a speaker to away games because we have a really big speaker that we bring for like home games, but it's already there. So I bring my personal speaker. It just fits in the side pocket usually, and kind of just take some team suggestions. So that could be anything either.
That's good. And we're going to talk about your team a little bit at Batavia. We're going to dive into that. So let's start off with the shoes.
Yeah.
Me being a shoe guy and you kind of being fashion guy, I'm interested to see what you brought in.
All right, yeah. Got a pair of Kyrie's.
Okay.
Yep.
Got one red shoelace.
Yep. Did that myself.
One white shoelace.
Yep.
Oh, you did a lace swap?
I did.
Big lace swap guy?
Yeah, they actually were blue laces. I was like, that's too much blue.
Yeah.
Add some red. Got some red laces. Got some white laces. Mix it up.
Back to you being a fashion guy here.
Yeah.
So why these shoes? Why'd you bring these in?
So these actually were last AAU season, kind of my whole entire career. You know, I've grown up having a bunch of different shoes. Sometimes I'd have 2, maybe 3 pairs of shoes per AAU or basketball season, and these are kind of the last pair that I wore for AAU.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I can see you really put some work in with these shoes.
Those are starting to fall apart. Yeah.
The front part. What size are these?
14, I think, 15 maybe.
Size 15.
15, yeah.
And how tall are you?
6'9".
6'9".
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about your game. For those that haven't seen you play, how would you describe your game?
A lot of other people kind of describe me as like a KD almost, kind of tall, but I can still shoot.
He's pretty good.
He is pretty good.
Probably one of the best players in the game.
Absolutely. So just being able to kind of shoot, kind of be able to be in the post too, tall enough to defend and everything. That's kind of like what represents me really.
So okay, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. Going from where you were freshman year to where you are now, you've obviously had to put in a tremendous amount of work because you're averaging 31 points a game.
Yep.
About 10, 11 rebounds.
Yep.
A game.
10, 11.
How did you get to that point to where you're one of the best players in the greater Cincinnati area?
8th grade year, I was more like a post player. I never really went out, so I don't even know how much I was averaging my 8th grade year. No one really kind of kept track of that. Then freshman year, I played freshman basketball. Averaged around 16, but it was freshman basketball, so it wasn't really like too impressive because all the other like better players would play up, JV, varsity, whatever that might be. And then sophomore year, started averaging 12. Last year, my junior year, averaged like 16, and then now averaging 30. Just really been able to kind of expand everything. I definitely wasn't able to shoot like that my sophomore year. Dribbling the ball more, always playing basketball really helps too. So, just constantly playing basketball and expanding, your game really helps.
Now, I get a lot of parents that ask me, what have I seen other players do to help them get to, another level, whether that another level is a starter on varsity, a college player. Like, parents ask me, what have I seen? And I always tell them, and you tell me if you think this is true, I think it's been a good mixture of skills and drills, like working on your game individually and also playing and getting a lot of experience like AAU. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
And what have you done in the gym by yourself to improve your game?
Really working on ball handling and shooting. You know, I feel like I'm more confident in my post moves, and especially being as tall, it's a little bit easier to score in the paint. With all the other kids guarding me, maybe like 6'6", maybe 6'7" at the tallest. So really working on the outside and kind of, if we have another big playing inside, you know, just kind of being able to step out, hit shots. So that really kind of helped me kind of be able to be where I am today.
You're a tough matchup for teams.
Yeah, yeah.
The last game, I guess, well, you just played Western Brown, but the game prior to that was against Madeira.
Madeira, yep.
And you had 39 points.
39.
And the game winner.
Yep.
Which I saw on video.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about. Is that your first game winner?
Yeah.
That's your first ever game winner.
Yep.
Now, was that? I didn't get to see what happened prior to that, but was that coming out of a timeout, drawn up play? How did that transpire?
All right. So we were up by 2. We were up by 1. I think it might have been tied. Something happened. We ended up in a foul. 6 seconds left. They're in the bonus. We're in the bonus. What was it? They hit a free throw, missed one, made the second one. Our coach didn't want to, because they ran a 2-3 zone the whole game. Our coach didn't want to call timeout and have time for them to set up. So, you know, I grabbed the ball and then just passed it to our point guard. He pushed up the court, made one pass to the left wing, and then it was definitely good for us because everyone on our team were in our spots. You know, we didn't crowd one side of the floor. Everyone was in their spots. Made the one pass, and then I kind of filled up to the high post, free throw line, caught it, one dribble. I had 2 seconds left, and then layup, scored.
It's like the perfect play.
It was.
At the perfect time.
It was.
And you made it like just as time was expiring.
Yep. There was nothing on the clock left.
That's amazing. How'd you? Obviously, you were super excited, but what was that emotion like?
Definitely really excited, of course.
Because you're pretty cool dude. Like,
yeah.
You don't get like too high, too low.
Yeah.
In that moment, though, how were you?
I mean, it was just crazy having the whole team, you know, kind of run off the bench, you know, no time left, seeing them all, you know, run after me and everything. It was cool. I remember last year we had Mount Healthy. I had 32 that game, and I didn't hit a game winner. One of my teammates did, and, you know, corner 3 to win. And, you know, corner 3 is probably one of the toughest shots in the game, too. So he hit that, and then, you know, transitioning from, like, being part of the teammate, so, like, running at him to being everyone running at me was kind of just cool, like, to see both sides of it, really.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They were both in overtime, too, so it was even better.
So is there one player that you watch? I know you talked about, people said, you know, you have a lot of similarities to Kevin Durant. Is there any player you watch? Is it Kevin Durant, or is there another player that you watch and you kind of steal different styles from?
Not really like steal moves, but I definitely like look up to like Damian Lillard. You know, him being one of like by far the best player on the team. You know, having him kind of see how he deals with him and his team and everything, and obviously like KD. You know, especially MJ highlights. I know you're big on that, so yeah, definitely all those, and you know, all those kind of together kind of really mean something.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into your second item.
Second, all right.
Put these big old shoes to the side, taking up the whole table.
Yeah. All right. Second,
oh, we're going to the other pocket.
Yeah, other pocket.
It's
a special pocket. Got Jordan arm sleeve.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, the Jordan. I like the Jordan.
Yeah, knew you would.
The arm sleeve. Okay, so I'm always intrigued on why people pick the items. You know, they pick. Did it take you a while to decide on your items, or did you know right away?
Oh, I kind of knew right away, really. Especially with this one too. I wore that arm sleeve for the first time in our first tournament game, and it was the first tournament game that we played Aiken at Mason. I think we were down by like 10 or something like that going in the fourth. Ended up coming back, winning by like 6 or 8, something like that. So we ended up just taking over the fourth quarter, won. I was wearing that arm sleeve, and that was the first tournament win that we've had since 2012. So kind of being part of that team, you know, that was our first, like, we had the best season since like the 80s, and then being able to win that first tournament game since 2012, kind of just all puts together. So That's kind of why I chose that.
It's because of the arm sleeve,
It
right?
is because of the arm sleeve Jordan.
Well, that's how I felt growing up. I'd watch Michael Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was all about the shoes.
Yep.
That was kind of the commercial. Is it the shoes? Is it the shoes? So I would buy all his shoes thinking I'm Michael Jordan. Now you wear 23.
I do. Yeah.
Why is that?
Actually, my number for AAU is 7. That's always been my go-to, and I've been that since I played football, since I was 6. It's always been my go-to, and then guys growing up, looking up to Michael Jordan and everything, 23. No one chose 23. I was like, hey, might as well.
That's cool to hear, because a lot of young people in this generation don't look at Michael Jordan as the GOAT. In fact, our producer, Stu Holt, he and I talk a lot about the greatest, and he thinks Kobe's the greatest. Okay, so he's younger than me. So you've got Michael Jordan from my generation, you've got Kobe from his generation, and now this generation, they're looking at LeBron, KD's coming up.
Yeah.
But that's cool to see a person of your age loving Michael Jordan. Do you watch his YouTube videos, Instagram videos?
Kind of like family dinners. My uncle and my dad always argue, oh, LeBron, Jordan, all that stuff. And I was like, hey, I got to pick a side. So kind of studied both of them, and I was like, MJ's definitely better.
Pick the right
For
side.
sure, yeah.
So when I was growing up, to wear number 23, you had to be the best player.
Yep.
You had to be the best player to wear 23. And I wasn't always the best player on my teams. However, I always had Air Jordan sneakers. But I always turned down wearing 23 because I wanted to have my own thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my brother taught me, was like, kind of have your own thing. And I always was like that. But with you being the best player on your high school team, averaging 31 points a game, the next closest on your team, one of your teammates averages 10 points a game. So that's a big gap there. However, when people see that, and I think you guys just played Western Brown, you guys scored 46 points, something like that.
Yeah.
And you had how many of the 46?
29.
29. But here's the thing, though, Mace, is you don't come across selfish. And I don't think anybody that's ever played with you, whether it was AAU or your teammates, think you're selfish, but yet you score a lot of points. You agree with that?
Yeah.
And why is that?
I think that kind of everyone knows kind of if they can't hit shots, I definitely can. They definitely look for me. Kind of always something that it's kind of been like my whole life, always been taller, so if I have someone smaller, they're really good at like recognizing those matchups. If I'm like that one game against Madeira, I had 39. They obviously know that no one could guard me on the court.
Right.
So they just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna feed them until they can do something about it. And so far, no one's done anything yet.
And it's great because you're also a great, as I said before, you're a great teammate. And I've heard from different coaches that are at Batavia what a great job you do with the young players. Kind of mentoring them, shooting with them. Why is that important to you?
Because I just feel like, I didn't really have any high schoolers really when I was in middle school to come down and help or anything. So I just hope someone can, look up to me and kind of model what I do and kind of grow up to like want to be like me and everything.
And if we talk about Batavia basketball, one guy comes to mind of the past,
Yep.
and that would be Don Ogletree.
Absolutely.
He's one of the best basketball players to ever play at Batavia.
Definitely.
One of the top athletes to ever come out of that area. How close are you point-wise with him? Because is he the all-time leading scorer at the school?
I think he's like well over 2,000, so it's definitely close. If I keep averaging what I am so far, I think I'll be second or third behind him.
Wow.
All time, yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, because he's the GOAT. He's the Oscar Robertson of Batavia.
He is.
And that puts you, that puts you in a space as one of the great players to ever play at Batavia. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Growing up always at Batavia sports. My uncle played football when I was younger, so always going to like those sporting events kind of really, being able to be a part of that and have these younger kids look up to me like I did everyone else. It's definitely cool.
Yeah, that's important to you. So
absolutely.
Let's jump into your third item.
Third item. All right. Back to this front pocket. Got
Ooh.
Yep.
I like this one.
I know you do. The Shining Stars 33 jersey.
Yeah. Now, before we even jump into the jersey, that's not the number you wore
It's not the number I
in
wore.
AU. You wore 7.
I did.
Can you tell everyone why you don't have your 7 jersey?
So, playing for Shining Stars, you get a home and away jersey, white and a black one. And actually at Batavia, we have a kid with Down syndrome that graduated years ago, still comes back, sits on our bench and everything. And, he said I was his favorite player to watch. So he came to actually my very last AAU game. And we ended up wearing white, so it was clean. The black jersey was clean. And I ended up giving him the black 7 jersey, so he has that. And I actually got a 33 jersey for this game that I haven't even worn, but it still kind of holds something to me.
So why is that important to you? And I think one of the reasons I know is your father, and we'll talk about him shortly. But you wanting to give back and do things like that, which to that young man giving, and I was there, that meant the world to him. Why is that important to you to do those type of things?
And it was giving back. Basketball only lasts so long once you get to a point in time where you can't play anymore. You can't reminisce on everything that's happened throughout basketball. Like, I don't want to be that guy to live back in the past. Like, oh, well, back in high school I did this or that. I mean, this is something that could last forever, not just through my time playing basketball.
And we've done different things community service-wise with Shining Star.
Yep.
The Kicks Collaborative event that we do with the Boys and Girls Club. We had over, I think, 200-plus kids, inner-city kids in the gym, and giving them free shoes. And you were one of about 10 players that showed up and helped distribute shoes and played with the kids. And that's one thing I love about you, that you're, I don't even have to ask you to do that. You're going to volunteer to do that. So hats off to you for doing that. Now, I do want to bring this up. I do want to talk about back to Batavia real quick.
Yep.
Your freshman year, there was a young man who was a senior named Nate Watson.
Yep.
And Nate, his junior year, was the leading scorer on the team. And then I believe 2 weeks going into his senior year, being the captain and the leader of the team, he developed cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. Yep. And he was going through chemotherapy during his senior year. Managed to finish the season. He beat cancer. I got to know Nate quite a bit, but he had to be a huge inspiration to that Batavia community. I know he was to the basketball community, but in particular the Batavia community. What type of effect did Nate have on you?
Him being the kind of leading scorer, and that had to happen to him, unfortunately. It did suck, but it kind of brought everyone in Batavia together, really. Kind of bringing everyone together, not only for games, but outside of games, fundraisers. And that's kind of what really got me into, giving back, too. Seeing him, unfortunately, it had to happen. And it's kind of how you deal with that outside, No one just didn't do anything about it. Players on the varsity team actually, shaved their heads with him and everything. So it's just a bunch of, he laughed at him. There was actually one of his best friends on the team. He was going to shave his head, and Nate said, "No, you look stupid. Don't do that." So, just having that, being able to be a part of that was really kind of great.
Now, I saw Nate's story on the news, and I tweeted out that I wanted to get a hold of Nate, and somebody sent me a tweet, and Nate and I got in touch with each other, and so I ended up helping to get Nate a pair of shoes. I don't know if you remember this.
Yep.
But I got him a pair of Jordans that was signed by Chris Paul and Gary Clark at the time with the Houston Rockets, and I know that meant a lot to Nate and guys like Chris. Shout out Chris Paul and Gary Clark for doing that. I think that helped him, get through all those days of chemo, because he was going through chemo maybe every other week and still showing up for games.
Practice games, yeah.
That's incredible.
It is.
And I thought what was really cool was when I saw videos of you guys going to, opposing teams to their gyms, and the whole gym was cheering for Nate. I think there was one game against maybe Goshen. The whole place was kind of there for, obviously cheering for Goshen, but there for Nate.
Yep.
And I thought that was really cool.
Definitely, yeah.
Let's jump back to AAU. Yep. I want to talk about that. You played for Shining Star.
Mm-hmm.
Played for Mike Price,
Mike Price, yep.
one of the legendary coaches here in the greater Cincinnati area.
Ever.
Ever. Yeah, he's definitely a GOAT, right?
For sure.
How did Coach Price help your game? Because, and I want to talk about that because I think part of your growth as a player was you stepping out of a comfort zone of Batavia. You've got a great coach there, but stepping out of your coach or your comfort zone and going and playing for a different coach and seeing different players. So how did Coach Price help out your game?
Like throughout the game wise, he kind of was like straightforward. Like if I was doing something wrong, he'd pull you and tell you. He's not gonna sugarcoat stuff and say, "Oh, well, next time do this." It's like, no, like now, like fix stuff, fix what you're doing now. Kind of getting in the gym early. We do post moves and everything. That's what really made me confident with, expanding my post moves, learning different stuff that I haven't really done before, and being able to kind of like master those, and taking what we do in his practices and kind of doing that outside by myself, and just being able to take what he gave me and then doing that and applying that to myself every day.
And also, you playing AAU with different players from other cities. Like I said, getting out of your comfort zone and playing against high-level competition.
Yeah.
And I think for you, one thing that I saw when I was watching you play AAU, I think there were moments where you were like, I'm the best player on the floor. Like, I'm as good as anybody else I'm playing. Did you feel like that at moments?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes, if, like I said earlier, if I'm scoring, no one can stop me. Obviously, the teammates had the knowledge to let's keep giving them the ball. Like same, I would do the same if someone else is on fire, if someone's getting hot, pass them the ball. Kind of being able to work with them, and definitely really helps, especially having kids from other like bigger schools. Everyone first practice, everyone's like, "Oh, where do you go to school at? Say your name," and it's always Moeller, St. X, Elder, and then Batavia. And it's like, "Oh, where's this at?" And
Batavia. Some people say Batavia.
Batavia, yeah.
Yep. I mean, and obviously Batavia being a small town, and not a lot of people hear about Batavia as much as you may hear about a Moeller or a Princeton or some of the other schools. But you're really putting them on the map with your season this year. You should be proud of that.
Absolutely.
Now, with playing AAU comes the recruitment process. All right, and I do want to talk about that. You have the ability to play at the next level, at the college level. And I personally think that your best basketball is yet to come. You are going to thrive playing college basketball. So when you're thinking about your college decision, what are some of the things that go into that for you?
Kind of just where I feel kind of home at, what colleges have really been reaching out. I'll definitely know if they reach out one time, won't text for a little bit, but definitely the people that kind of stay in touch, that's definitely a key part too. Going back to Price, like some people text me and say, "Hey, Coach Price said this, Coach Price said that," and I'd be like, "Oh, wow, he's definitely like believes in me too," being able to spread those words and everything. So honestly, it's kind of what feels kind of at home really. When I first go there, meet the coaches, everything. That definitely helps.
You gonna wait to the end of the season?
Yeah, closer to the end of the season, if at the latest, right after the end of the season.
I think if you keep doing what you're doing, right now, if you keep that up,
you're
going to have plenty of schools to pick from.
Hopefully, that's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be reaching out to you quite a bit. Now, what do you plan to do? And I want to look into the future after you finish playing basketball at the college level. What would be the goal for you?
I'd like to go to college for business management, kind of start my own business.
What business?
I don't know what right now, but kind of seeing whatever is like the popular thing, kind of being able to like kind of give back to, start a small business, being able to support local schools and everything.
That's cool.
Doing all that, yeah.
It ties into what you're about.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you think you could play at the professional level?
That's actually a goal, is to kind of go overseas really, kind of travel, be able to do that, and still play basketball.
So I was just talking to a couple friends, maybe over the last couple of weeks, that had the opportunity to play overseas professionally. And one of the guys I was talking to, he had been to like 12 different, places overseas all around the world. And he said he did more traveling around the world through basketball than anybody, he knows.
Yeah.
And he had an amazing, cultural experience. And I think that's one of the great things about basketball is that you meet a lot of great people, but you also have the opportunity to travel and go places and see different cultures.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's got to excite you.
It does. It's always it's always been a great time for AU tournaments, being able to travel out of the state. I like to kind of broaden that to country-wise.
Yeah.
Being able to travel out of the country, not just states.
In overseas, they're big into fashion.
Yep.
You go to different countries, fashion is what it's all about.
Changes a lot too.
Sure, you'll be right on the
absolutely
the edge of fashion. Now, do you have any other items?
No, just those two.
But okay, so before we close out, I do want to talk about your family. Your dad and I have a running joke, and he's here today with you.
Yep.
Brandon. He's a Florida State fan.
He is, sadly.
I still don't know why.
No clue.
And it's disappointing.
It is. Really is.
My brother works for the Florida Gators football team, so I'm a Bearcat first.
Yep.
Bearcat football team's doing well, but I'm also a Florida Gators fan because of my brother and my family lives in Gainesville. So your dad and I talk. We go back and forth on the Gators and the Seminoles, and the Seminoles aren't doing too great, right?
Nope.
Yeah, he says that. Now you, in fact, like the Gators more than the Seminoles. How's he feel about that?
Oh, not good. Not good at all.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've got to get you some Florida gear so you can make sure you wear it around the house.
For sure.
Now, everywhere you go, every AU tournament, high school basketball, everywhere you are, your dad's there. How important has that been for you and him supporting your journey to where you are now?
Definitely been good, having someone to always kind of be there with you at all times. Kind of makes it fun, lots of memories you make every time. Makes traveling more fun, makes the long car drives a lot better and easier.
And he's not yelling at you.
Yeah.
Like there's some parents that just continue to yell at their kids the whole time. I don't think I've ever heard your dad yell at you at an AU tournament or anything.
Definitely. If I don't have a good game, he'll tell me, and then we'll just move on. Like, he'll be like, hey, you didn't play good. Like, step it up, and then forget about it. Play the next game.
And I wish more, like, parents had that mindset with their approach with their kids. Like, okay, you didn't have a great game. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We'll move on to the next one. Because with AU basketball, you could play 5 games. In a weekend. You can't sit there and dwell on every single play from the noon game on Saturday.
Definitely, yeah. It doesn't help.
And it puts you in a good mindset. So the other thing, too, is like your father, like me, you have several tattoos.
I do.
But I think they're meaningful.
They are, yep.
Can we talk about them?
Yeah, so I got one on my wrist and then one on my thigh. One on my wrist I got for my 16th birthday. Me and my dad got together, nothing big, just small writing on my wrist, and it's kind of just means like kind of like don't doubt yourself, kind of just be like kind of who you are, and we both got that. And then 17th birthday I got one on my thigh, and it's anchor with my great grandpa's dog tags because he served in World War II. So yeah, that those two both kind of mean something, and definitely more will be added to that.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Got some more coming, huh?
I do, yeah.
So why was it important for your father and you to get the same tattoo?
We kind of both wanted one, and we both saw it. We both liked it, and he was like, "Hey, you got one? I might as well get one too." So that's what he was thinking, and I was like, "All right, yeah, I'm on board."
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Talk about your 2 brothers.
Oh, 2 brothers.
Double trouble.
Yeah. They both play sports, football and basketball, like how I did when I grew up until I ended up just being a basketball person. Hopefully they do the same, maybe not just basketball, but find a sport that they are more comfortable at and kind of believe in themselves more, and definitely go far in that.
Yeah, and they really look up to you. I think it's important that every step you take, they're watching.
Yep.
I think you know that.
Yep, absolutely.
And do you think they'll have the ability to be at the level you are in sports?
I want to say yes, and I will say yes, but I feel like there will be like different like situations that they have to like go through, you know, especially as times change. You know, there's more that they might have to worry about, kind of like dealing with stuff like online, as in mine would be like kind of like on the court stuff. So definitely seeing them kind of grow up in different like different like obviously years apart. You know, seeing how what's popular for them might not be popular for me. Like they might not have a Mario book bag, but
yeah, I don't know that they'll do that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know many that do that. But
yeah, but hey, seeing how they adapt that and how they can face that will really mean something.
Yeah. So just, kind of going back and looking through your items here, along with your fashionable bag there.
For sure.
And I always ask the kids to bring in things that, kind of represent their life and journey, and definitely your journey in hoops as we look through that, the shoes and the grind of the shoes and AAU and that moment in the high school tournament, wearing the sleeve all the way to AAU. And I always felt this way with you, Mason, and that is, I feel like you've always been, driven inside, like, yourself.
Yeah.
Like you've always been self-driven. And whenever we have, guests come on the show, I just started doing this season.
Yep.
I give them a Jay-Z quote. All right. I'm a big Jay-Z fan.
I know you are.
Like Michael Jordan, he's the GOAT.
Goat. Yep.
He's the GOAT. And so what I do is I kind of listen to the interview and I think about a Jay-Z quote or a Jay-Z line from a song that kind of applies to the person. So thinking about you, Jay-Z did an album with Kanye West. You know what it was called?
I do not.
It's called Watch the Throne.
Yep.
You ever heard of it?
I have, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a song on there called Welcome to the Jungle. You ever heard it?
I have.
You heard it. So, and it's, I love the song. One of my favorite songs on that album. And, like many, rappers, they come from, different conditions, inner city, and Jay-Z from Marcy Projects in Brooklyn, and Kanye West from the south side of Chicago. They talk about, those areas being the jungle and kind of, getting through that. And I think with Jay-Z, he's obviously a very self-motivated person. And in the song Welcome to the Jungle, he says, I'm losing myself. I'm stuck in the moment. I look in the mirror, my only opponent. And that, I immediately thought of that as we were going through this, because for you, like looking in the mirror, you're your only opponent. And I said, I think your best basketball is ahead of you. I think just a couple years into college, whatever school gets you is going to have a star in their hands. You're going to go through the roof. And I personally think the way you play the game, you will definitely have the ability to play at that next level overseas professionally.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately it's going to come down to how good do you want to be.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's you looking in the mirror, your only opponent.
Yep.
You're 6'9", you can handle the ball, moves in the post. It's going to be on you.
Yep.
Are you prepared for that?
And I am. It's going to hit really fast, senior year, and then 5 months or so, then kind of real world stuff hits, moving on to college and kind of adapting to that. It definitely comes down to me and how I handle that.
And I think you'll do very, very well. You've done well thus far.
Yep.
So whatever formula you've had from freshman year to now,
yep,
just keep that going.
Absolutely.
Keep putting that formula in a pot and stirring it and keep applying it. So I want you to wish you the best of luck in the future.
Yes, sir.
Especially this season here.
Yep.
Keep balling.
Big season.
And excited to hear where you're going to go for college. And I want to thank you for coming on What's in Your Bag.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, Mason.
Yep. Thank
you.
you.
All right, Mason. Part of coming on What's in Your Bag, you get a bunch of free coupons.
Cool.
To Penn Station.
Perfect.
To get subs. You like Penn Station?
I do.
Where's your closest one?
Eastgate.
You've got 10 of them right here. You can take your brothers, take your dad, make them do the gator chomp while you get a little food.
I have to, yeah.
Give a shout out to Penn Station for me.
All right, yeah. Thank you, Penn Station, for being able to supply this.